All right, I'm back with another Fresh Prince video. And in this particular video, it centers around a very thought provoking question. And that question is, are you a sellout? And apparently, this must be the case for if you're a brother or sister who has goals, dreams, aspirations for yourself that at one point you were visualizing or even dreaming about. And instead of you just sitting around pondering about that stuff, you got up, you worked hard, you hustled, and then you grinded until you got to the point where any and everything that you wanted to be in your life, you made it happen to where it manifested. And as a result, you're living a very successful life. And something like that should be looked at as a crowning achievement overall, right? It makes sense. Unfortunately, however, you have those of us within the black community who can be described as the non-productive members who look at that and within their own minds automatically assume that those are something like that of making it and being successful in life is seen stereotypically as things that not only white people can do, right? And that right there is one of the biggest impediments and strongholds within Black America that's affecting us on a very big level, right? To the point where we start to believe that we can only be um, looked at as any and everything that's negative that we see plastered all over, right? Ranging from movies, television, media, academia, and even in the church system, as opposed to looking at ourselves and saying that we can be looked at as any and everything positive to where we can change our own narrative instead of believing the narrative that's constantly being pushed and promoted, particularly through the liberal media, right? That's why I wanted to cover this scene right here because we talk, there is so much talks about racism and discrimination, right? Well, you're going to see, well, you see firsthand right here, reverse discrimination. And I'm not talking about from the Caucasian perspective. I'm talking about from the so-called black perspective, right? Because in this particular scene right here from an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think the episode is titled Blood is Thicker Than Mud. Both Will and Carlton were looking to become new recruits for a fraternity titled Phi Beta Gamma that was headed by known president Top Dog. And Will got in, fortunately for him, but when it came to Carlton, he automatically got rejected. And we're going to see exactly why he got rejected, especially on the part of the president, through his, quite honestly, biased and racist assertions. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
Yo, homie, I'm not supposed to say anything, but you have nothing to worry about. You're in. Your word? Me and Carlton got in? Well, not exactly. I mean, you're cool and all, but Carlton, well, he's not exactly our type.
I gotta tell you, man, that dance never fails. You know what the interesting thing was too? As he was dancing right here, he was dancing in front of this girl who, when you look at it, um, she's not really turned off at all, right? And I know it got a freeze frame here a little bit. That may seem that way, but when you look at it all the way through, the girl Carlton was dancing with was not turned off in the slightest. Because Carlton, as quirky as he was, he was just being himself. And that's an important lesson in life too, man. Is just learn to be yourself. be who you are, and instead of trying to be something that you're not. And there are going to be people who are going to accept it, and there are going to be people who are not going to accept it because they rather accept the version or idea they have of you in their minds, and rather just stick with that as opposed to just looking at the person, talking with them, asking them questions, trying to learn more about them so they can open their minds and not be so closed-minded. So, but hey, it is what it is as a part of life. So, you know, is so this just be you.
Say, what do you mean, not our type? Well, Carlton is not like you and me. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't know what you're saying. Will, Carlton doesn't exactly exemplify what I think a Phi Beta Gamma is. Oh, and what is that? Well, it's not Ralph Lauren shirts and wingtip shoes in corporate America. We don't need a brother like him in this fraternity.
Really. So you need a brother like him in this fraternity. So okay, what question has to be asked for this brother and any other brother who in any other fraternity who operates like this? What type of brother do you need in your fraternity? The type who grew up in the streets, like you and Will, who you know, got involved, in a gang, who probably got came out fresh out of the pen for committing either a major crime, felony, or simply a misdemeanor. A brother who sells drugs to his own people, who probably gets involved in drive-by shootings, who knocks up many different women, has multiple baby mamas, and a bunch of kids that he doesn't take care of. Right? Is that the kind of brother you want in your fraternity, man? If that's the case, then unfortunately, that's your fraternity not going to turn out too well because of that. At least, if not at first, it's definitely some point down the line. And with those things being said, it brings to my mind Thomas Sowell, a man who was a known gem, because all throughout his lifetime, he's published numerous books. And in one of the books that he published, called Black Rednecks and White Liberals, he was laying out that what we call today the ghetto or hood culture originally started with white people who got that from their ancestors in Britain, which involved things like teen pregnancy, drinking, partying, infightings, a disdain for education, amongst other things. And those same things is what Southern blacks eventually got influenced by. And when it came time for migration, about a million or two of those Southern blacks, if not more, who migrated up to the north were looked at with disdain by not just Northern whites, but also Northern blacks too. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind because you know because it goes to back to culture as to wondering why even to this day why those within the hood are viewed a certain way. Well, look no further.
Man, he is exactly what you need in this fraternity. Carlton has been a straight A student since preschool. He gives you 150% every time. Look,
Bingo. He sure does. And what's interesting too? All throughout the show, Will has teased Carlton, obviously, hell, sometimes to the point of downright roasting them, right? But in this case right here, even though Carlton was his cousin, he defended him as if he was his brother. And that's a wonderful thing right there too. Because you always want to stick up for those close to you, man. Because, if you don't have those type of people in your life, then when things get rough, who can you call? Who can you look to? You know. With that being said, now we're going to see Carlton now do the same thing for Will after him being told the bad news. So here we go.
Will, I realize he's your cousin and you have to defend him, but this discussion is closed. Uh, come.
See right here? Now this is from a better angle. See, as he's dancing, just letting it all hang out. The girl's not she's not turned off, not even a little bit. See? It's all about having fun, man. It's important to just not be uptight. Just keep be yourself, relax, and just have a good time. So much respect. I got that expression on his face gets me every time. Oh my.
Come on, man. Let's go. I didn't get in. What? Why? Look, I don't know, man. Come on, just let's go. How dare you not take Will? He's full of potential. That's why we want him. It's you we don't want.
Uh oh. You see that? Just now. First it was Will sticking up for Carlton. Now it's Carlton sticking up for Will. Like, once again, hey, somebody who's willing to stick up for you like that is definitely somebody you definitely need in your life, whether they're related to you by blood or not.
Me? But I did everything. I cooked, I cleaned, I hand washed the toilets. Everything your butler does for you. I'm not accepting no prep school, Bel Air bred sellout into my fraternity. Homie, you can stop all that. No, wait, Will.
Hey, you see that? Again, it's one thing, it's one thing for for you to make fun of somebody that you really have love for, right? But when someone from the outside, or in this case, those that look just like you, try to do dirty by you, do wrong by you, you're going to see that other side of them come out, like you see right here. But now we're about to see another side of Carlton come out, where he's going to show his fangs.
I got this one.
Once again, here we go.
You think I'm a sellout. Why? Because I live in a big house or I dress a certain way? Or maybe it's because I like Barry Manilow. He been Barry White, y'all.
Yeah, that's right. You better say Barry Man. You better not say Barry Manilow. You better say Barry White, because there's no way in the world if you're in the hood, whether you live there or if you just visiting the hood for whatever reason, and if you have a car, right? If you see somebody who is, if you ever see anybody who's for whatever reason in their low rider or any type of car they got, and they for some reason blasting Barry Manilow, you better not sing the lyrics to that song. You better keep that. You better keep that to yourself, because people in the hood, they're going, man, chances are they're probably going to trash you. They're going to probably harass you, make fun of you, call you call you certain types of names, probably catch the thing on their phone, and and whoever knows whatever else might happen. Who knows? But yeah, man, that's just one of that's how hood life is, unfortunately.
Being black isn't what I'm trying to be, it's what I am.
There you go. Yeah, we know for a fact that technically speaking, black is not really a race, um, a nationality, or even an ethnicity. It's just simply a color, the same color that as a child growing up you had in your crayon box when you were coloring in your coloring books, right? But I can understand, you know, the message that he's saying, like the nuance, trying to read between the lines, where he himself, what some people say, he's an American, who happens to be black, as opposed to someone who calls himself black Afro American, um, who tries to keep it super duper black, like these pro blacks, uh, these Egyptologists or Kemetic brothers, even those, or even today with the new Black Panther Party, right? And some of these, you know, no disrespect to them, these some of these black Hebrew Israelites out here you see on the street corner sometimes. All of them I can respect in regards to them trying to teach their people, a level of identity, right? But the problem is with a number of those cats is that they don't really truly know the true origin of the ideologies or belief system that they adhere to so much. They might find out that some of those belief systems actually come from like Caucasians themselves, particularly Caucasian Jews. And from the spiritual side, obviously, that those belief systems uh can some of them actually come from Satan, man. So you have to be very careful of.
I'm running the same race and jumping the same hurdles you are, so why are you tripping me up? You said we need to stick together, but you don't even know what that means. If you ask me, you're the real sellout.
Bingo, absolutely. I gotta say that's a proud moment for Carlton right there, man. I'm sticking up for yourself, right? And not let anybody trying to put you in a box or make you feel as though you're not authentic, right? Like being authentically black or whatever they call it, right? Another thing too, for anybody who's either a part of a fraternity or who has heard about fraternities, there's a movie on Netflix called Burning Sands, and within that movie, it downright shows you the activities or rituals that brothers in these fraternities have to go through to be a part of it and to stay a part of it. And when you read stories about this stuff in fraternities, I mean, in regards to activities, also with drinking, hazing, and falling out, things of that nature, uh, all them things are not worth it. Out, outside of, you know, trying to trying to get a certain type of business off the ground. Now, I don't mind that part. That's a one. That's a great thing, honestly. But the rest of that stuff, no.
Yeah, that's right, boy. And in the words of my illustrious cousin, we gonna make like a tree and leave.
Oh boy. Well, his facial expression. He was something else back to me. He was a nut.
And look, you don't speak for the rest of us, dog. I'm gonna have you kicked out of here.
See that? Hey, in other words, we're not a monolith, right? You know what's interesting too, man? How people are those of our people who operate like this will be the same ones. Well, first off, they'll they'll put the rest of our people in a certain box, right? But yeah, they'll be the same niggas who get upset when those from the outside put them in the exact same box, right? So okay, which hey, that's justified. You don't want anybody from another race, putting you and your people within a certain stereotypical box. Okay, when then that should be enough more than enough motivation for you to stop or to not put your own people in that same box, right? Like Carlton said, man, we're supposed to be in this together, right? At least hopefully we should be, right? Because if we don't have each other, who do we have? All right, it's, it's just make it make sense.
Make like a tree and leave. I never say that. It's make like a banana and split. I'll keep that in mind, all right?
All right, so that's the end of that particular confrontation right there between Carlton and Top Dog. Now we're about to head into the closing scene right here with Uncle Phil and the family. And as both Will and Carlton make their entrance and unfortunately give the bad news, Uncle Phil um, is going to pretty much show his true feelings, which is a little of irritation, anger, but at the same time, sadness in regards to what just happened. I'm gonna show what I mean by it right here and now. So let's go.
Laszlo, how could you? Oh, get over it, Mary. I'm leaving you. For your brother.
Oh, you've got to take this from me tomorrow. Damn that Laszlo.
Hey, we looking at the newest Phi Beta Gamma?
No. Apparently, I'm not enough of a brother to be a brother.
What?
The pledge leader said he didn't like sellouts.
Well, who does? I mean, you wait and wait and wait. When you finally get to the front of the line, everything's gone.
Uh, I don't think that's the type of stuff they're talking about, sweetheart.
You know, this really irritates me. I have worked very hard to give my family a good life, and suddenly somebody tells me there's a penalty for success? I'm sorry you had to go through this, son. When are we going to stop doing this to each other?
And that's it for that scene right there. And that was a very good question that Uncle Phil just asked in regards to not only the state, but the future of our people, of our race, of our nation. Because how can we progress as a people if we're so busy, you know, looking to put each other down over honestly trivial things, right? Things like the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, even the music you listen to, right? How can any of those things really have an impact, right? If what you're looking for is the exact same goal or end game that the other person is looking for. Now, I do understand in regards to music and things of that nature. I understand that a lot of the music that's being plastered, that being a lot of the degenerative rap music, that's completely different, and that definitely more and more so needs to be addressed, right? But in cases like this, on an individual basis, if how you live your life is not affecting the next person next to you or across from you or your community as a whole, and if you're an upstanding type person who has love for his own brother and his own sister, and he's a contributing member to his community and to society as a whole, then for the most part, you should have nothing to worry about. And in cases, why should you, you know, as Carlton phrased it, trip that person up? And a clever thing about this show right here, especially with this scene in particular, is how Uncle Phil asked a very important question, and instead of just giving the answer, it automatically goes to the credits very smart, very clever, because it gives people and the viewers at home the opportunity to sit, wonder, and ponder over that question while also, going into history, researching, so you can come up with your own conclusions. Like I say, top notch and spot on. But anyway, that's it for that. Just wanted to cover the scene, and that's my time. So peace.